Moving on to the last area, which is what we call the intent to purchase. So does the prospect have the genuine intent to purchase what you're selling? So let's go back to the car dealership example. So let's say that the person that walks onto the dealership, you're talking to them, they have a 15-year-old car, they have a great job, and they are the decision maker. So you might say, check, 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 this is a good prospect. I can pass up talking to all the other prospects on the dealership because I'm going to sell a new car today to this person, right? So you don't have to worry about your opportunity cost, right? Now, one thing you might miss in that scenario is that if you don't ask the right questions, you might miss the fact that this prospect spent all afternoon, 4 hours to be exact, at another dealership that sells the same car that you sell. They've already test drove, they've already negotiated a price, they've already built some rapport with the salesperson, and all they're doing is they're coming to your dealership to validate that they negotiated a good price. And when they just walk on and talk price a little bit with you and you give them a price that hasn't been negotiated, and maybe you end up spending an hour with them, they end up leaving and going and buying the product somewhere else. And so what happened there is that they were qualified except for the fourth area, which is a genuine intent to purchase from you. They had the genuine intent to make a purchase, but not the genuine intent to purchase from you. And without asking the right question, you would never know that, and you wouldn't know what went on, and you just wasted an hour as a salesperson. Converting that to the B2B world is that a prospect may be talking to a vendor for 3 months. They might even produce an RFP because they needed an RFP either to get a better price negotiated, or the RFP is part of their procurement process, but they had to produce an RFP, and the RFP got sent to you. And you look at the RFP, and obviously because of the RFP, they need what you sell, they have the ability to purchase, and they have the authority to purchase. But what you don't know is that the vendor they've been working with for 3 months actually wrote the RFP for them. And the vendor designed the RFP so that it fit exactly with their product and not yours. And so if you get that RFP and you aren't aware that what's going on here is that the prospect has the intent to purchase from the vendor that they've already been working with. And they're just going through the motions. And if you aren't aware of that, what happens? Well, you could spend a week putting together a beautiful presentation that you send over and you never hear anything back. And what happens there is you wasted a week of opportunity cost lost. All those other meetings you could have held. Even if you don't have other prospects to sell to, you could have been cold calling and networking for a week, generating leads. And those leads that you would have generated, some of them would have led to sales. And the sales that you missed out on is your opportunity cost for working on a prospect that did not have a genuine intent to purchase from you. This one can be easy to miss, but here are questions that you can ask, and these are very reasonable. What other options are you considering? So when that person is on the dealership, what other cars have you looked at? Have you looked at any other cars? Have you gone to any other dealerships? Now they may lie to you, but at least if you ask the question and they lie, at least you've done what you're supposed to do. You would think that asking a prospect, what other options are you considering? You would maybe think, well, I shouldn't ask that because it's their personal business, or I don't want to give them the ideas to look at other options. So you may be scared. I would tell you, don't be scared. Be confident in your own product and ask this in a very direct way, and you'd be surprised how often they just tell you exactly who else they're considering. How far along are you in discussions with them? That's a good question, because if they're very far along and they're not just now talking to you, then it's not good. Not only are they very far along in the process and you're an afterthought, but they most likely have rapport already with your competition. How do you feel about their options? What do you like about them? What do you not like about them? How do they compare to what we have to offer? These are all great questions. If they say we're looking at your direct competitor, You may know from your playbook and your battle card how you compete, how you compare, and how you differentiate. But ask the prospect how you compare. Get their idea because they've been talking to the other competition. You don't know what their mind's been filled up with. So you may either want to validate that they know how you're better, or you want to identify if you need to begin to educate them on how you compare. Or maybe based on what they share with you, you know that you have no chance of winning the business and you know not to waste any more of your valuable time. Is there a reason why you would choose us over them? If you had to make a decision today, which day would you lean? So just some very general questions that allow you to assess how the prospect's genuine intent to purchase from you